Let's go to the latest earnings from Transcorp Power, the listed energy subsidiary of the Transcorp Group, announcing a top-line growth 153% for the third quarter, ended September. In a statement released to the Nigerian exchange and the shareholders, the power company says its net profit margin went up 36.3% during the period, as the company pays down all its foreign currency obligation and including acquisition loans. Joining me to discuss this latest earnings is Transcorp Power Chief Finance Officer, Okpogoro. A good Monday evening to you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
It's the start of the week, so we make deals on Mondays.
Very well.
Every day, I'm sure you do.
Very well.
But let's get more power into this conversation.
Okay.
Very interesting scenario. What are the key drivers of this latest earnings, especially the top line?
Okay,
let's start from there.
So, Bosan, before we go forward, it's very important that we lay some facts on the table. Transcorp Power is a leading thermal plant in Nigeria with the largest number of fleets. We have 18 gas turbines in Transcorp Power. And as you've seen, very impressive results coming out from Transcorp Power for Q3 2024. As you see, that revenue grew by 153%, and profit before tax grew by 198%. You will note that the profits grew at a higher growth rate compared to the revenue. And that's because that underscores our resilience as an organization, leading from the board that has we have a robust board composition under the leadership of Mr. Emmanuel Norum. And also, we are very efficient in managing our plants and cost optimization, noting the global macroeconomic issues and the environment that we operate in. But we're able to manage our costs where we have cost-to-income ratio of about 16%. And what you see today is very impressive numbers that we continue to produce year on year, as you've seen from our track record. So Transcorp Power, it's the leading thermal plant in this space, and we have a lot coming up from the company.
I'm looking at the second item on that box is the net finance costs, which you were able to bring down from around double-digit in billion naira within a very short period, a year-on-year basis, by roughly nearly 100%, to now reading just about 500 million. How was that achieved in terms of a very difficult time period we live in? How do you get your finance costs so sharply lower?
Great. You know, we have paid down our USD obligation. We do not have any FCY loan, so that's.
I was about to ask, how do you get the money?
Okay, you know, we're spot power. We're spot power, and we get FCY inflows.
Where do you export that to?
We're spot to Republic of Benin. Right? Okay. And that gives us FCY inflows that enabled us to pay off our USD acquisition loan. And that reduces the risk of having FCY losses, FS losses. And also, as we get inflows, we have some investments. We place money on investments. We have other short-term investments that we generate interest income from. And that is the reason you see that our net finance costs reduce significantly, because we are no longer exposed to the FS losses. And we have interest income coming from our short-term investments. Even with the MPRO that is up there, we are able to manage our net finance costs to a very reduced 500 million, as we've stated in our report.
I'm looking at these line items, and I'm looking at the ROE and the return on equity and the return on assets in this, as well as total assets, a jump, and even with the restiveness in the area where your operations are basically based in the Niger Delta region. How are you able to do that within that region?
Interestingly, every shareholder, the investing public, should be excited at this, because our return on equity is 56% as at Q3 2024. If you look at our financials in FY 2023, it was 52%. And you continue to see all metrics, all parameters in terms of our numbers are very impressive. Our return on asset is 16 billion, grew from a 14%, is 16%, that grew from a 14% last year. So in terms of restiveness, with our host communities, we are what I would refer to with strong partnership. We have a lot of CSRO projects, because this is Transcorp. Improving lives is our purpose. We have a lot of vocational skill training that we organize with our host communities. And as you would know, I'm also from Delta State, and I'm also from that region. So I think there's no better way to talk about local content than having...
Speak the language.
Speak the language. There's no other way to talk about local content than having someone from that region heading the finance organization.
Interesting in terms of, as I go back to these FX obligations and acquisition loans, what does that mean in terms of what is available to you, and I'm sure you should know as a Chief Finance Officer, in terms of capital expenditure moving forward, as well as the earnings outlook for the organization? I think it's one of the key issues you've been able to take off your shoulders or off your books, as it were.
Yeah, it's good indeed, because we've now paid off the FCY loans, and that frees up our FCY inflows for capital investments. And you know, our plant is capital intensive, and most of these parts, they are not sourced here in Nigeria. They are things you have to import from overseas, and you pay FCY for those capital parts.
Yes. So are you dealing with that?
Yeah, we're dealing with it well, because we have a source of FCY inflow, so that enables us to fund our FCY obligations.
Dollar for dollar.
Dollar for dollar, and that takes us off the FCY risk as well.
Yeah, exchange rates.
Correct.
Yeah, because using FX revenue to finance.
Yeah.
What further investments are you looking to make? Because as you see your numbers grow, your total assets grow, I'm sure you're looking at more capacity to deliver more energy, because Nigeria is on the cusp of that. We need to deliver energy to people, to industries, to homes, and everyone in between.
Yeah, so you know, as Transcorp Power, we with our installed capacity, is just 7% of the national capacity. Right? However, we generate about 10% of the Nigerian power generated in the country. So we're doing more than our fair share of generation, right? Because that is what we are made for. With respect to investments, there's a short-term plan and there's a long-term plan. The short-term plan is essentially to continue to recover capacities. There are capacities we're recovering, and I'll let you know that by the end of December, or before the end of this December, we're adding another 125 megawatts to our capacity, and that would also make more power available to Nigeria. So continue to strive to bridge the gap in energy. So we are bringing back 125 megawatt capacity before the end of this year, and that is will reap the benefits in 2025 as we go on to next year. And in the larger plan, as after recovering the capacity, in the larger plan, we're looking at other space like the renewables. You know, solar and hydro is a place. It's a place where
that's where the world is going.
Yeah,
renewable
exactly.
is going up massively around the world.
Correct.
Going by the latest numbers from the International Energy Agency, this is expected to be a major. In fact, the IEA is looking at about 5,500 gigawatts by the year 2030 or thereabout, globally speaking, which would be far more than United States, UK, China put together.
Yeah.
So that's the way to go. So how deep the investments are you making in that?
We're already investing in that space. You know, like I said, there are short-term plans and there are long-term plans. The short-term plan is to recover all the outstanding capacities we have in the plant, and in the long-term plan, you would see us going into renewable energies, solar and hydro to be specific. But I would just say, keep watching the space. You will hear more from Transcorp in that regard.
There's water in the Delta.
Yes, there is.
There's water in the
Delta.
Delta. Yes.
There's water. So keep watching this space. You'll hear more from us with regards to the renewables.
You don't want your competitors to know?
No, it's not something we'll put out so quick.
So third quarter, really good. What should shareholders, what should the market expect for the fourth quarter? And technically, full year, with just a few more weeks to the end of the year.
We've known for resilience. We've known for strong financial performance across all our metrics, and our parameters are very good year on year. As you would note that the first 9 months, we've outperformed all that we did full year 2023. And I would say the outlook is very good. I just mentioned about 125 megawatt capacity coming on board, and that would also rev up our numbers, and that will put us, again, further strengthen us as a market leader.
Dividend.
Sure. We've paid a whooping sum of 23.4 billion for FY 2023 dividend.
That's what the shareholders want to hear.
Yeah, we've paid 23.4 billion in 2023 dividend. Half year this year, we've also paid an interim dividend of 11.25 billion already. So that's about 34.6 billion paid out by Transcorp Power in how many months of listing. And we are very confident that by year end, our shareholders will also be smiling to the bank with a return on equity of 56%. I think that is very impressive.
Evans Okpogoro.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Transcorp. Thank you. It's good having you. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you for having
we appreciate that for coming tonight.